Is freedom necessary?
As far as I'm concerned, it is, yes.
Is it necessary for a productive society?
Yes, I should say it is. I mean, a genuinely productive society. I mean, I think you could produce plenty of goods without much freedom, but I think the whole sort of creative life of man is ultimately impossible without a considerable measure of individual freedom.
Hi, I'm Derrick J. I'm an activist originally from Philadelphia. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
In your new essays, you state that these various enemies of freedom are pushing us toward a real-life, brave new world, and you say that it's awaiting us just around the corner. First of all, can you detail for us what life in this brave new world which you fear so much, or what life might be like?
Well, to start with, I think this kind of the dictatorship of the future, I think will be very unlike the dictatorships which we've been familiar with in the immediate past. I mean, take another book prophesying the future, which was a very remarkable book, George Orwell's 1984. Well, this book was written at the height of the Stalinist regime and just after the Hitler regime. And there he foresaw a dictatorship using entirely the methods of terror, the methods of physical violence. Now, I think what is going to happen in the future is the dictators will find, as the old saying goes, that you can do everything with bayonets except sit on them. But if you want to preserve your power indefinitely, you have to get the consent of the ruled.
The sound of the men working on the chain gang. All day long they're saying, my work is so hard, give me water, I'm thirsty.
While living in Philadelphia, I had some unwanted interactions with law enforcers. I was detained while walking home with a sign that read, "Legalize freedom." I was told that even though others could walk down the street, I had to take a detour by myself down an alley.
You're going that way, sir.
Why can't I go this way?
I give you an order and you're going to obey it. Do you hear what I said? You're going back, sir.
The police were thuggish and put their hands on me. I don't like strangers putting their hands on me.
This is my street.
I'm
This
telling
is where I
you to
live.
Go back.
I'm going home to my house.
Well, you have to go around. Go down
This
that
is
way and make a
closed.
left, okay?
Thank you very much. Can I ask what's going on?
It's for your safety, sir. So that's why we're here.
Why is there a camera on me?
Hello?
Why is there a camera on me?
I don't have anything to say to you, sir.
Who told you can go this way?
The missus in the officer's uniform over there.
She said he can go this way? Did she tell him he can go this way?
Nobody tell
told him he can go this way?
You told him he could go down there.
You told him he can go this way? Okay, let's go.
Thank you, miss. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Obama held a rally in Philadelphia on November 10th, 2010, which I was determined to attend with a group of friends holding signs. We were denied access to the event because of our signs. I asked if we were on public property, but my question about property rights was answered by a command.
Is this public property?
You cannot bring signs into the rally. You can stand right there. You can stand right there and perfectly.
But I'm talking about over there. Is that public property?
No, you cannot do it. I'm sorry. We cannot let you bring signs. No signs are allowed. I'm sorry, sir.
Is it public property?
You're holding the line up.
That's fine with me. You're really holding us up here.
I had always been told that the government exists to protect my rights. Now I was seeing that these men, who have no higher claim to the earth than I do, were willing to steal my property to enforce an edict, which conflicted with my right to free speech. Lysander Spooner wrote, "Whether the Constitution really be one thing or another, this much is certain, that it has either authorized such a government as we have had, or has been powerless to prevent it. In either case, it is unfit to exist." I realized that the problem wasn't those on high, it was people like me down low. The problem wasn't the chain of command, but the chain of obedience. To create the kind of change I wanted to see in the world, I stopped looking outward upon politicians and law enforcers, and started looking within. I thought that if I can achieve personal freedom, then I can give others a path to follow or inspire others to make their own path, and then we can all live free from at least institutionalized coercion. During my time in Philadelphia, I was working as a fundraiser for Greenpeace International and the American Civil Liberties Union. I'm passionate about the issues of overfishing and secret prisons, so I was able to raise about $250,000 for the organizations collectively over 2 years, but I didn't feel satisfied. After stumbling across some YouTube videos, I learned of a group of freedom lovers moving to the same geographic area to get active for the cause of liberty. Their zany videos of average people challenging authority while promoting the concept of non-aggression captivated me. I had to be a part of it. After about a year of watching YouTube videos of people in New Hampshire living free and taking the consequences, I started preparing to move in January 2011.
Derrick said he was calling from Keene, New Hampshire, but I don't think any of us here have met Derrick yet, and we're doing the show from Keene, New Hampshire. Are you a Free State Project mover?
Yeah, I just moved here a week ago.
Oh,
no
wow.
way.
And so what are your initial impressions?
I love Keene. I was really scared that I wouldn't be able to find a job, but I already scored one at JCPenney. So
Sweet. Congrats. So cool, man. Well, I'm sure you've been to freekeene.com. You know, there's a calendar of things that go on there, and I'm sure we'll end up seeing you at some point.
I couldn't believe that in just about 2 weeks of moving to Keene, I had connected with a community of activists who I had idolized on YouTube. I had watched these people being arrested and committing acts of civil disobedience that made my heart leap out of my chest, and I wanted to be like them and inspire others to get active in the cause of advancing freedom. We all came from different places, but I felt I had more in common with them than even my closest friends elsewhere because of the shared value of the non-aggression principle. One of my first videography attempts in Keene was covering the weekly peace vigil at Central Square, which occurs every Saturday at 10 a.m. This particular day, the vigil was followed by a Tea Party rally, and I had the opportunity to check the political pulse of the area.
what's on the top of your personal list for taxes that need to be cut immediately?
Actually, I don't think we should cut taxes. I think the whole
While Tea Partiers are considered radical by many, I was not impressed with their mainstream views. On 4/20, I went to the rally in Concord, started by another inspiring Free Stater activist named Rich Paul. A group of about 400 activists smoked cannabis on the lawn of the State House and then walked inside, en masse, toward the governor's office. This was my introduction to the Shire Choir, a group of individuals who sing songs of peace, freedom, and justice.
So I'm here with Rich, who was just playing guitar for the hymns that we were singing inside the State House.
Right. The plan was to sing out in front, like happened last year. And one thing led to another. Actually, I didn't have the guitar when I should have had it, because we were going to sing right out here then. And then next thing you know, everybody's inside, and we decided why not just do it inside.
That's a great idea.
Off we applause, hands off we applause, there's no criminal here. Either some pot, so what? It's not as unsafe even as beer. And farming isn't harming anyone noticeably. Good folks live and that's why we applause must be free. Hands off we applause, there's no criminal here.
Well, the basic message is to end prohibition.
Awesome.
That's what it all boils down to.
Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes
The next day, April 21st, 2011, I went to my first Keene City Council meeting, armed with my Walther, my flip cam, and a Keene High School baseball hat. I interviewed then-Mayor Dale Pregent to let him know that I was new in town, revealing that I had seen a YouTube video of super activist Pete Eyre being arrested for wearing a hat in court. Pregent blew me off as soon as he heard the word arrest.
Citizen who was wearing a hat.
almost gone.
I would later take my first ride in MARV, the Mobile Authority Resistance Vehicle, to join Shire activists in holding signs outside the Cheshire County House of Corrections, also known as the Keene Spiritual Retreat. There, an activist named Emperor Evan was being caged for the crime of wearing a hat, which is considered contempt of court. Who doesn't have contempt for court? For recreation and practice, I joined some of the gays for a monthly target practice event called Firearms Church.
We're about to shoot these targets.
Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Freedom, freedom.
In mid-June, I moved into a room at the Keene Activism Center. It brought me closer to the community. It's a hub of activism where people meet to eat, socialize, strategize, and produce media. Living so close to a media studio helped me develop my skills filming and editing video. Bo Davis was arrested on Monday, June 27, 2011. I met Bo while being interviewed for a French TV news channel about public 420s in the square. He settled in Keene after a stint with Liberty on Tour. Bo was sentenced to 5 days in the Cheshire County House of Corrections for contempt of court. The next day, I was there at District Court doing Don't Take the Plea Deal outreach with Rapture. When Rapture returned from handing out flyers to people in the court lobby, he told me that a demo of copblock.org was being arrested upstairs.
Just as I'm about to walk out, a demo's like, "Hey, Jason." Man, I'm like, huh? And I look, a demo's on the floor, handcuffed. You know, and at that point, a demo filled me in on what had happened. He's like, "Dude," he's like, "you aren't going to believe this. I got arrested for nothing."
I handed off my camera to Rapture, and he filmed the arresting bailiffs in the lobby.
Can anybody tell me what's happening with my friend?
Recorded.
Is that a policy that I can't record you?
I am saying under federal law, I have the right not to be recorded.
Okay, if you show me that policy, I'll be more than happy to shut this off.
I just told you what the federal law is. Now you got 2 minutes to shut it off, or I'm going to arrest you. Violation of my privacy.
Okay.
What you want to do?
A demo was arrested for asking Judge Burke questions about wearing a hat in court and how that constitutes contempt.
Judge Burke, can I ask you a few questions about a hat and how that constitutes contempt? You think people want to pay for someone to be in jail for 5 days for wearing a hat? It's kind of ridiculous to waste taxpayer money on something like that, isn't it? Sir, I just want to have a conversation.
Bailiff, this person is threatening me about a decision that I just made.
I'm not threatening you. I'm asking him questions. Did I threaten you?
He's threatening as a criminal offense.
What was my threat?
Come on, sir, you're in custody.
What was my threat?
You come in custody, sir.
I went to investigate myself and was arrested for video recording.
So, apparently Jason was just threatened if he didn't turn off his camera. I want to go see what this is about up here.
There is no video and audio allowed in this lobby.
There isn't?
Now shut it off, you go and get arrested.
Where's the statute?
It's right on the wall.
Oh. Can you show me?
I said...
Can you show me where it is on the wall?
You're under arrest.
No, sir.
Okay.
I just want to see where the law is.
You're under arrest.
No. No. I have work today.
Well,
This is...
You ain't gonna make it. You got your...
What? No. Wait.
Put it on the counter. Now.
Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Let's just be friends here.
He was dealing with a couple thuggish security agents that one of them, decided, I don't know if they're homophobes or whatever their deal is, but they arrested Derrick, I think because he was skinny and easy to pick on compared to Repture, who was much larger in that particular case.
Although Ademo was originally charged with improper influence and the charges were eventually dropped, he still spent 2.5 days in jail. My charges were dropped the day before court. In late July, Dale Everett of Anarchy in Your Head comic fame asked me to join his new GLBT talk radio show, Prometheus Unchained, which later became Flaming Freedom. I was nervous and pretty silent at first, but after listening to a few episodes, I got comfortable and found my voice for radio, and discovered the chemistry of the group to produce an entertaining broadcast. This first radio gig introduced me to the most active of the Shire's gay communities, such as co-host Neil Connor, Jay Denonville of the activist website mail-2-jail.com, Andre Rosa of notesforrobots.com, and Buzz of Buzz's Big Gay Dance Party. Having come from the gayborhood of Philadelphia, my perception is that the Shire is overwhelmingly straight by population, but very accepting of gays. My time on Flaming Freedom also led to a guest appearance on the podcast Puke in the Gang, and it wasn't long before I was discovered by Free Talk Live's Mark Edge.
I wish I could take credit for Derrick being on Free Talk Live, but I was in jail at the time that he was added to the show. So it was a pleasant surprise when I got out to discover that Derrick had been added to the cast of characters, which I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best, co-host we've ever had. I mean, he's so exuberant. He's got a real, the guy's got talent. He's great, but I deserve no credit. Mark, my co-host, made the decision to bring Derrick on while I was in jail, because when I was in jail, he needed more help here in the studio, and so it was a really good move on his part.
Ian Freeman of FreeKeen.com was caged August 24, 2011, after a jury trial in Superior Court for the crime of standing in front of a police car. Ian was non-verbally expressing his displeasure with the actions of Keene police when they kidnapped a peaceful local woman, Heike Corser, for enjoying an alcoholic beverage in the park.
I was at the trial of Ian Freeman today with about 30 other folks from the community, and I was to video record the entire thing. There was a lot of restrictions, but there's a 3-page order that the judge gave me in response to my motion, so I wasn't even allowed to move the camera at all. Pan or zoom is ridiculous.
Before sentencing, Ian had explained that he would be appealing the decision, and so I expected he would be free for at least another 30 days. However, when the judge's gavel fell, Ian was taken into custody and began serving a 90-day sentence for obstructing government administration. He spent 59 days in jail for his victimless crime. With Ian unexpectedly caged, Free Talk Live's Mark Edge scrambled to fill in the gaps. Mark asked me to fill in on Tuesday nights, which was previously covered by Dale Everett of Anarchy in Your Head and Flaming Freedom. I was excited to join the cast of characters on FTL, improve my skills on radio, and help bring the message of personal freedom to an expansive audience. At the same time, I rebranded my YouTube presence by creating a new channel called Freeman TV, where I would specifically cover stories of peaceful resistance. Bo Davis made a killer intro and an outro graphic which became the signature of Freeman TV videos. Over time, the videos produced on this channel would be used frequently for featured and guest segments on Free Keen TV. The infamous Live Free or Dance arrest happened Friday night, September 9th, 2011. Free Speech Friday had been shut down earlier in the day. I missed the gay clubs of Philadelphia, and rather than complain, I decided to have a dance party in the center of town.
Who complained?
What?
Who complained?
City complained about the use of power, and the citizen complained about the lights.
What do you mean the city? They kept probing by asking questions of the crowd, such as, whose property is this?
Why you guys are here?
So if it's
fine, and just take care of it. Both bars. And just take care of it, and don't use the power, and you're all set.
What's with the threats, guys? Don't appreciate it. People are having a good time.
Okay. Who's making the threat?
You guys are making threats.
Okay, that's good. So
not good. Not cool.
That's not that you're making threats. I'm pretty sure there's none.
Yeah, I can't imagine who really complained about this.
You guys
But
outside not going to use lights and music anymore.
What ordinance says you can't use lights and music?
You can't use the power. You want to bring generators?
According to what? Your guns?
I don't know.
Derrick in the studio because Derrick, apparently there's been some run-in with the Keene cops, and you were right in the middle of it.
It was a swell time until they showed up, and so they were asking whose property it was that played the music, and since no one really claimed it at first, they were saying that one of the gentlemen who was arrested earlier that day had claimed it, and so they were going to take it for him.
Right.
And I was like, why are you trusting him? This is my property.
Some guy, he just makes some claim, and that's what they call police work now.
Right, that's their investigation. Eventually, one officer, Michael Kopcha, attempted to take the property for which I was responsible.
hey,
I held my property to protect it from theft.
Hey, leave him alone, man. He's not doing fucking anything to you, man.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Hey, is this the answer? Sir, let go of the bag.
Get your fucking hands off of me. He's not fucking doing anything.
This is my property. You
have no right to take that.
So
you have fucking no right.
You took someone else's word and then put this man to the ground?
That's correct. That's
These guys
correct.
don't even know.
These guys don't even know who
What kind of
shit that
example
is.
do you set? Putting people to the ground, trying to take their property?
Exactly. I don't know that it's his property, man.
You don't know that it's the other guy's property either, but you're gonna put him to the ground?
That's the information I'm working on right now.
So, yes, you can see the video where he tugs at my arms and he's saying, let go of the bag, and it's right on video. I'm not holding the bag, but he's ripping my arm behind my back anyway. So walks me over to the police car. It says, get in the car. And I say, I don't want to get in the car. He said, get in the car. And I say, I feel like I'm being kidnapped. I don't want to get in this car. And so I stand there, and he says, well, then I'm going to mace you. And he does. Even after the mace, I was remaining standing, and because I did not want to come in. I'll walk home after being maced. I would much rather, but no, he then just pushed my shoulder in because I couldn't see anything, and I'm in intense pain. My whole head's on fire at this point. 5 days after the Live Freer dance party, a crowd of marijuana enthusiasts gathered in Central Square at 420 to openly smoke in remembrance of lost liberties. Adam Kokesh of Russia Today's Adam vs. the Man was in town to document the civil disobedience for which Keene is famous. The police presence that day was unusually massive. The peaceful crowd shared a group hug, a commitment to peace with a show of hands, and also voted that the police presence was a service neither necessary nor desired.
Can you agree to that? Since we don't really know each other, I won't put my hands on you, and you won't put your hands on me. Can we make that agreement? Because one of the goals I would like for this space is to keep the common a peaceful place. I've heard that there's some violence here that happens, so I want to set a good example by making sure that no violence or initiations of aggression ever happen here. So I would like for everyone here to make the agreement that they won't put their hands on one another.
I agree to that.
I think that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Does anybody else agree to that?
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Maybe that.
Just raise your hand.
Yeah. No violence today?
Yeah. No violence.
No violence today? Just a show of hands? If we're going to be peaceful and violence?
No violence today.
Show of hands if you want to be peaceful?
violence here today, would you raise your hand? If there's going to be no violence here today, do you agree with no violence?
But there are violent people here.
There are lots of violent people here. Do we need these police officers here anymore?
No.
There's no controlling needing to be done right at this point. There's no controlling needing to be done. There's no aggression. So there's no need for you to be here at this point.
When one of the officers assigned to the drug task force sat down beside me, I asked him if he would mind if I smoked. He said I could do whatever I want. I asked him what the consequences would be. He didn't answer. I began packing a pipe and singing "Give Peace a Chance" when an officer took the pipe from my hands and ordered another cop to arrest me. I kept singing, my Bic lit like a candle, and rose to serenade the officer who would be arresting me. I walked slowly towards City Hall, where I had hopes that others would gather with me, but along the way I was handcuffed.
All I am saying is give peace a chance. All I am saying.
We've had a 420 rally going in Keene, New Hampshire since September of 2009, where people have been coming out and openly smoking cannabis. I was arrested twice. There have been several other people arrested. Eventually, the cops stopped coming. They realized that we were just going to tie them up in court and take up their time, and they accepted and internalized apparently what our point has been all along. It's not worth the time and money to mess with pot smokers. Well, yesterday, for the first time in almost 2 years, they came out to Keene Town Square and they arrested my friend Derrick Freeman for smoking pot here, which hasn't been done in a long time.
Derrick J., one of our normal co-hosts, is on the line, calling in from jail. Derrick?
Hello. How's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty soon we're just going to move the equipment into the Cheshire County Jail.
I just wanted to tell everyone that I will be getting out of here as soon as bail is posted. And I just really appreciate everyone's support, all of those who watched the video, those of you who are making the move to Keene because of the activism that happened here.
Derrick, what sort of motivated you to be basically the only one at this 420 event to actually pull out allegedly marijuana and proceed to try to smoke it? It looked like from the video.
Well, what inspired me was that I came there to smoke. I mean, and I wasn't going to be scared by the presence of these thugs in costumes. That doesn't change anything about me smoking a bowl being a peaceful act. But yeah, it was that no one else was doing it. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with everybody?
September was an eventful month for civil disobedience. Jason Talley of Talley TV was arrested September 23, 2011 for walking through a security checkpoint at Cheshire County Superior Court with a camera clipped to his belt.
Jason Talley, our Friday co-host here, he actually was among them. I guess he checked some video gear at the desk, but had his personal camera that he was going to use to take pictures of some things at the clerk's window. The bailiffs demanded that he give the camera over. He refused. They subdued him. They put handcuffs on him. He then went to the ground, and then they drug him by the handcuffs out of the door. And according to some passerby, they roughed him up. So as I understand, he is refusing to process, which means give them his name, rank, serial number, and all that stuff.
This came less than a month after the First Circuit Court's ruling known as the Glick decision. The Glick decision makes explicit the rights of individuals to act as members of the free press, in accordance with the First Amendment, to collect information regarding actions of government agents during the official course of their duties. It was around this time that Free Keene TV began to take shape.
He was a new mover, came to town, and he was very quiet, just kind of absorbing what was going on around him, and then finally deciding that he was ready to do something. And he got involved with Free Keene TV early on. I extended a welcome to him to be on the show, and initially Derrick helped with the cameras and the setup, and then quickly became a switcher. So his role was just vital to the show. He became very much a person who wanted to be involved, and who not only wanted to be involved, but he excelled at whatever he was doing, and he was very committed.
Several times I was a guest on the show to report on my ongoing victimless crime spree. One day, I received a letter informing me that my application for a license to carry a concealed weapon had been denied. I went to the police station to inquire as to why, but was turned away with no answer except that I am a known drug user. I appealed that decision, and a hearing was scheduled. At the hearing, I was informed that one of the conditions of bail imposed by Judge Burke during my Give Peace a Chance arraignment was a restriction on possessing a firearm. Burke then informed me that because of this fact, I have filed the wrong paperwork. I would need to move the court to reconsider bail conditions. Instead of simply handling the matter instantly, Burke insisted that I file another motion and schedule another hearing for the purpose of reconsidering bail. I did, and it was denied. On November 5th, a crowd gathered in front of the State House in Concord to protest drug prohibition. I gave a speech and then walked along with members of the Shire Choir through the streets singing songs of peace, liberty, and justice. Upon arrival at the building called the New Hampshire State Liquor Store No. 1, some of us decided to sing some chronic carols to the people inside. The peaceful songs of the Shire Choir brilliantly highlighted the irony of the situation. People calling themselves the state of New Hampshire will cage peaceful people for using one drug, cannabis, all the while selling people another drug, alcohol, which is far more dangerous. My peaceful singing that day inspired an investigation by the New Hampshire Liquor Commission, which led to my being served with a no trespass order for all New Hampshire liquor stores.
Prohibition, poor and slingered song. It may be a failure, but I need my job. He didn't take long to come up with a plan to stir up a frenzy for something to ban. Amendments won't matter.
Alright, got 3 more songs.
Well, they got 3 more liquor stores.
Well, how about,
Around this time, Jason Talley of Talley TV moved into the Keene Activism Center. I joined him on the relaunch of the website fr33agents.com, a website networking liberty activists around the globe. I worked on expanding fr33agents.tv by collecting videos with voluntarist messages together in one place and showcasing liberty-oriented media. Later, I would produce a daily 5-minute podcast for Free Agents which covered stories of peaceful resistance. Free Agents Radio News was later scaled back and put on hold due to distractions from Legal Land, which required my full attention. Around this time, I was asked to speak on the topic of civil disobedience before a group of students at the University of New Hampshire.
I moved up from Philadelphia to New Hampshire to live a freer life. I felt like if I was moving to a place where there are other people who are willing to disobey the men with guns, then I'm a little bit safer when I do the same thing. I'm not trying to push like, oh, the Democrats are going to legalize marijuana. I don't care what the Democrats do or the Republicans do or the people in office, because they're not, in my opinion, interested in a free life for any of us. I think they are controlling people that they don't even know, and they do it by threatening men with badges and guns to come in and knock down your door and take you into a cage. I don't think that benefits anybody, and I think you would agree.
In late November, I was leaving Keene District Court after filming Beau's arraignment. The judge having left, I slung my camera bag over my shoulder, put on my hat, and walked out of court. Before I was able to leave the lobby, however, I was detained by court bailiff Ron Dusevich.
Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to leave this place. I do not.
He restricted my freedom of movement and insisted that I remove my hat.
If it's important to you, you can take it off. You can take.
Thankfully, Rich Paul walked over, asked my permission to remove my hat, nabbed it, and walked away, placing the hat on his own head as he left. I was recording with one of my wearable cameras, so I caught the bizarre encounter on film. Ron Dusevich is the same man who arrested me for filming in the district court lobby in June. December 9th, 2011, I covered an open carry demonstration at the campus of Plymouth State University. Brad Jardis, a former New Hampshire law enforcer, and Tommy Mazingo, a veteran, announced they would wear guns on the campus in defiance of the university's unconstitutional policy banning firearms.
Thank you, everybody, for taking interest in this, whether you agree with us or not. We just want you to have the right to choose whether or not you want to defend yourself.
Thank you for coming to campus without the weapons. Thank you.
That you know of. For all you know, I could have an MP5 on my back.
And I appreciate your civil disobedience and your willingness to do this through a legislative process.
If all good people carried guns, criminals would be out of business tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Here.
How can students who have no wish to carry or to protect themselves through the use of guns benefit from the right of others on campus to be able to do that?
In states like Utah, where there's a legislative decree that students at universities can carry guns, or states like Oregon, where the appeals court struck down the entire university system regulation scheme, which is quite similar to New Hampshire, and this happened in September, people know that, oh, geez, you know, people of the criminal mindset know that, oh, all these people could be carrying guns. This is not the low-hanging fruit. You know?
Does everyone feel safer because the cops carry guns because they've had a training course? So if everyone here had taken a training course, we would all feel just as comfortable as that man standing right there. He's standing there in confidence because he's taken a training course and he's held a gun before.
Like, guns aren't that scary if you learn about them. You know what? They're afraid of losing control. They want to control you.
Yeah.
And they're afraid they're losing control because we're pointing out that they're doing something specifically that they can't. They want to control you and tell you what you can do, where you can go, when you can do it, and if you don't do it, you're going to sit in a cage. They're doing something they can't do, and they're getting called on it, and now they're calling us domestic terrorists. Doesn't that strike anybody as odd? I mean...
And wasting a lot of resources.
Yeah.
A lot of supporters attended the demonstration, and a small group of counter-protesters gathered with signs, but their messages were quickly silenced by their own organizer, a PSU English professor.
We're good.
Hi, I'm recording for the Shire Free Press.
Oh, sure.
Just wondering if you'd like to comment on your sign here.
Well, it was made by Robin DeRosa, who's one of my faculty members, and I think it kind of sums up my point. Please don't bring guns onto my campus.
What's your concern?
I'm concerned about exactly what just happened at Virginia Tech. I'm concerned that our really, really safe campus is going to be kind of demolished and just have a whole different feel about it. It's a very homely place to be, and I just don't think it should be just infected with guns all around campus.
Is everyone with a gun a bad guy?
No, not at all. The hunters are great, and people that...
But we don't really feel safe talking today, so we might want to just... We're having a silent protest, so we hope that you'll respect that.
Excuse me, who are you?
Some literature?
I'm recording for the Shire Free Press.
Would you like some literature?
Sure. Who are you?
We're having a silent protest today. Thank you.
Well, I was just talking to this gentleman. Would you like to give me your name?
Yeah, it's Josh Cooley, but...
That's great. And does this woman own you, or are you speaking for yourself today?
We're having a silent protest today.
Okay, well, why the change? Were you not having a silent protest earlier, and now you are?
It's just early in the morning.
Okay. Well, have a great day. One day at Superior Court, activists Kelly Voluntarist and Jason Talley refused to stand for the judge and were arrested. Because cameras were still banned from the court, no video of this encounter is available. In response, peace activists decided to court block by asking the court bureaucrats questions as they walked from their cars to work. We sang chronic Christmas carols to the sheriffs and were eventually unlawfully banned from entering Superior Court property for alleged persistent harassment of court personnel.
How are you guys today?
Great. Good morning and happy holidays.
You know, I'm so sorry, but I won't be interviewed. Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Arnold, do you have time for a few questions? Maybe the least you could do. How about you, Tebow? You got a few questions? Oh, you're not so tough when the camera's out today, are you?
Well, we're just wishing folks a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday and asking how you feel about peaceful people being arrested in courtrooms for not standing for judges.
I have no comment on that.
But I do appreciate your
right to ask a question. Do you think it's the right thing to do?
Good morning.
Who doesn't stand for a rogue man across the floor in handcuffs? Is that the right thing to do? It's a serious conversation. I mean, we need to be talking about this stuff if we want to live in a peaceful society.
I agree.
Cool.
It's a worthwhile conversation. You guys know, I've been out here a few times now, talking to everybody coming out, and
yeah, we're wishing folks a Merry Christmas.
Just talking like a normal person, not like you're being an interview status, okay? I appreciate that. Just to inform you, do not get in their way of going to their vehicles.
Sheriffs are here.
Do not stay at a close distance to them. You need to keep your space from them, okay? As long as you guys do that, I mean, don't follow them to their vehicle, you know, at close distance and getting in the way and doing all that stuff, okay? They have a right to their freedom of movement to their vehicle and getting in and leaving and going home.
Of course. I don't think anyone would interfere.
They're no longer a public.
Have you seen anyone getting in someone's way?
Yeah, I'm just telling you, if you guys continue an aspect of getting in their way, of constantly trying to intimidate them.
Whoa, intimidation.
It's like getting broader and broader. Get bigger, okay?
I just want to know what you mean. Like, I just have some more questions about. Look, okay, so you said don't get in someone's way, and so my understanding of that would be that you're in my way now if I'm walking toward that car there, for instance. But if I were walking this way, you wouldn't be in my way, right?
No, but you guys.
Okay, just want to clarify what that means.
Do not strategically position yourself along these routes where these people are going to walk, so that they are going to have to walk by you, so that you can ask them questions.
Well, now that sounds like you're suggesting that we shouldn't be able to move to whatever place in the public space that we would like.
That's censoring of the media.
And I don't intend to get in anyone's way, but the real concern for me is to suggest that it would be intimidating or stalking to ask someone questions in public.
In 2012, I was kicked out of 2 election campaign events by presidential hopefuls. Rick Santorum came to Keene Public Library on January 6, 2012. Some activists and I went to the event with signs and song sheets. The Associated Press reported that we were forcibly removed by police with no reason given. The law enforcer Fenton P. Moore Jr. inexplicably claimed to be working on behalf of the Santorum campaign.
Are you asking or ordering?
We're telling you to get a leave.
Is that a lawful order?
Based on what?
Let's go.
Excuse me, don't put your hands on me, sir. What are you doing? Putting your hands on me? You are a stranger to me. I don't like strangers putting their hands on me. I don't want strangers putting their hands on me. I don't appreciate this type of behavior.
Are we out far enough now for your pleasure?
We need to back out further because this is going to block all this.
Why can you be there?
I work here.
Well, I work here.
Don't block. Once they get past, well, once they get past it, you're not going back down.
Yeah, well, I'm okay, but I didn't appreciate having them put their hands on me.
The bottom line is, they're having a political meeting down there. The political team has said that you guys were being disruptive because your chanting was drowning out.
Is the First Amendment disruptive?
I'm just telling you what they said. So
the First Amendment is not legitimate at a political meeting?
They had the authority to say, we want them out. They're being disruptive. We want them out. So I acted on behalf of the campaign team.
Hey, they won't let us down either. Not protesters, not press.
There's plenty of press people waiting.
Yes, and we were there. You see, we're adding no one to the room because we were just there. Thank you.
You go over there, talk to the chief.
We sang to Santorum, and Ian Freeman and Bo Davis both had the opportunity to ask Santorum if he has ever Googled himself.
Rick, the public wants to know, have you ever Googled yourself?
I encourage people to search out my website so they can learn more about me.
Teach courses, dare endorses, turn your own parents in, not unlike the old Soviet Union. No police state, join the free state, this is where freedom's been. Stop the drug war before it stops you.
John Huntsman came to Keene State College on January 8th. I went with a group of activists to the event holding signs.
This is a good place for signs right here.
We were told by some staff that we weren't allowed to have signs. They claimed that even though the college is funded by taxpayer dollars, it's not a public institution where the First Amendment applies.
Sorry, what was that?
We don't allow signs inside.
Who's we?
The campaign.
Oh, is this your property?
Oh, no, but I'll be happy to have you.
Oh,
The police were called, and we were escorted out of the event under duress by 4 police officers.
We have a space for you people if you want to occupy that space.
Oh, I think this is fine right here.
Nope, it's not. You have to leave.
Buddy, just watch out for a second. Oh, yeah. Now, who funds this this university? Who funds this college?
It's public, though, right?
Yes. You have to leave.
Based on what?
Based upon what my supervisor told me.
I'm not going to argue it. Just move or go with us. It's going to be considered trespassing.
Isn't this public property?
I don't necessarily think it's public property. I think...
don't my tax dollars go to this building?
I don't think that your tax dollars necessarily
I think they do.
Building.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm done, Ian. So we're going to either go down to where they said you can go.
I'm not holding a sign.
No, they've asked for all you guys to move.
Oh, so now we're being told to move even if we don't have a sign?
Isn't that correct?
Anybody that has a sign.
Oh, a sign? Okay.
Well, I'm not really clear on where her authority
You are very
comes
clear.
from.
You've done this many times before.
Well, I'm a sovereign individual, and I don't appreciate the threats.
Who's threatening me?
Well, she's saying that if I stay here with the property...
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I'd like to let you know we are currently being threatened by these men with badges here for simply standing here quietly with signs.
Now you're being disorderly, so go.
Disorderly, so
go.
I was just speaking.
I know, but when you start doing this stuff, we're only trying to be nice to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to talk to the crowd. Nothing's going on here.
Then why won't you allow signs in here?
Watch it completely. Come on.
Off the property, you told us we could go downstairs.
It's changed now, Ian.
Why is
You're
that?
off the property.
You're
done. You're off the proproperty.
Why is that?
Because
I'm here as the press.
Because
do you want them to start doing criminal trespassing?
Have I threatened anyone?
Stop and go. Thank you.
Have I hurt anybody? Stop and go. What do you mean? What does stop and go mean?
2 words.
I don't
Stop talking and go.
holding a sign.
Aren't you guys embarrassed about what you're doing here today?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Respect for people who make threats.
I have no powers of arrest. I'm not threatening you.
This man right here will put me in a cage, and you know it. And you're threatening me on his behalf.
He doesn't even have to look
freedom of speech, right?
Jason, hey Jason, did you ever end up looking up what liberty means? I know at my trial you said that you didn't really look into that.
Oh, I didn't think about it because I feel like I have liberty. I'm good.
He has that thin blue line. It's all right for him.
Dun, da, da, dun, da, da. Bum, 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 bum.
All right. Well, you guys have a good night. I hope you think about your actions. You guys are ridiculous.
Guys, you're being crazy.
You look ridiculous behind those badges.
Please think about it.
Extra rights. So much for freedom of speech, silent protest, right to assemble. It's all a big joke.
Free Derrick J.
My Live Free or Dance trial, as it has come to be called, began with a song by members of the Shire Choir. The song we sang that day is called Free Derrick J, with lyrics by a prolific peace activist named Sam A. Robrin. On January 18th, 2012, I had a bench trial for the charges of obstructing government administration, resisting arrest, and refusing to be processed. The first 2 are Class A misdemeanors, meaning they each carry sentences of up to 1 year in jail and up to $1,000 in fines plus court fees. The charge for refusing to be processed is a town ordinance, which means it cannot be brought before a jury, but instead must be ruled on by a judge, like the infamous Judge Burke. Like the judges in your town, he has caged innumerable peaceful people, some of them my friends, for victimless crimes against the state.
Liberty, peace on earth, peace to all. Free Derrick J. Ba ba ba. Dope laws get enforced by dopes, by dopes, by dopes, by dopes. But I can say, ba ba ba. Heroes like him raise our hopes. They sure do.
Some witnesses made notable comments. Stephen Corrigan said the volume of the dance party was much quieter than the fire siren that blasts through Central Square, sometimes multiple times per day.
It was much lower than the siren.
Jason Tally TV described how the cops used their flashlights in what seemed like a coordinated effort to impede the lenses of the cameras.
The videos that we watched earlier, I was live streaming them, so I have documentation of all this, but it was a peaceful event, and then the police showed up. I was using this device as a camera. The officers, I believe at least 3 of them, shined their lights in the different camera angles. So the officers' lights would have been shined right in my face and at the camera, making it obstructing my view.
Ian claimed ownership of the equipment and revealed that it was currently in his house, it wasn't stolen, and that I had his permission to use it during the dance party.
Did you recognize the piece of sound equipment that was featured in the video? Had you seen it before?
It's mine. I own that piece of equipment.
Okay. Your property was returned to you?
It was, however, I was not compensated for the lost ability to use that property.
I moved that the court dismiss each of the charges several times, and each time they were denied. Even the most basic of my motions were denied. I moved the court to consider the text of the law to be relevant. Denied. I moved the court to consider the U.S. Constitution relevant. Denied. Since I was in court anyway, I moved the court to consider modifying my bail conditions so that I can carry a gun to defend myself, which was also denied.
I'm here today under duress to answer to charges by the state that I disturbed the peace and dignity of the state. As I believe I proved today by calling witnesses, making motions, and sound argumentation, I am a person dedicated to peace and dignity. The alleged charges took place at one such celebration of peace, dignity, and freedom. Not only am I innocent of the alleged charges, but as evidence will show, I was the victim of aggression by agents of the state who acted outside the law and put into effect the tremendous waste of time and energy and resources of this court and the taxpayers of this town. I posit that it is impossible to interfere with government administration when law enforcement is acting outside the law. No victim can be identified in these cases except myself.
Judge Burke found me guilty on all 3 charges and sentenced me to 90 days in the Cheshire County House of Corrections for obstructing government, another 90 days to be served after that for verbally resisting arrest, and imposed a $1,240 fine for refusing to answer questions. All but the fine were suspended upon the condition of obedient behavior. Shortly after the Live Free or Dance trial, I decided to strip down to my underwear and join Kelly Voluntarius at the Manchester airport to hand out literature about the Transportation Security Association while Rapture filmed.
This is a new uniform everyone's going to have to wear if you want to travel. Have you gotten this yet? No. Alright, then that's for you. Have a great rest of the day.
Collectively, we handed out about 200 flyers in just 1 hour. The reception by travelers was overwhelmingly positive.
If you want to travel by air, you have to wear your underwear. Have you read about it? Just makes the whole job easier, right?
We were asked by a police officer to move to the free speech zone. We respectfully declined and were not hassled any further. A few days later, I was sitting at home when my house was inexplicably visited by 3 law enforcers, one of them Fenton P. Moore Jr. I avoided any interaction with them, but Adamo and Kate went outside to investigate. They learned that the law enforcers were looking to serve me with a no trespass order from Monadnock Regional High School.
just assaulted me.
I don't care. I don't care. He's not gonna I have a right. He is not gonna videotape
You do not have a right. You're in public and you're a public employee.
I am on school property.
You're on public property.
No, this is school property, and he's a jerk.
Why is he a jerk? He's just doing his job.
No, I am, and you're in my way.
I don't see him being in your way.
And I will call my boss at the police station. You guys think you're so great, and I'm a jerk.
Well, what's being...
You just came up to me and assaulted me.
You're the one
No,
who's
I didn't. I asked you to get the camera out of my face.
I didn't see him anywhere near your face, actually.
Oh, yes, he was.
You approached him.
Oh, I don't even listen to you.
You walked right up to him.
Yeah.
And you swung your stop sign at him.
No,
and
I went like this.
And you hit his camera.
I don't care.
I saw it all happen. Now, clearly you don't care.
No,
you're the one.
you're all
I think you're
jerks.
projecting, man.
I'm not even going to listen.
I think you're projecting when you call us jerks.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry.
We're back for another episode of Liberty Outreach. And we've got a petition today as well for an anti-Bearcat petition.
When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Don't worry.
Hey guys,
permission to hand out the material?
Thank you. Some flyers for you.
Here you go, guys. If you don't have permission to hand out
Enjoy.
then you need to leave.
What are you doing, man?
Do you have?
Did you just block that woman? That young lady? You were blocking her from receiving
permission to pass out material?
All right, guys. How's it going?
Okay.
Don't need it. Free speech.
You do on public property because
don't want you to see.
This property is governed by a school board who's elected by the people.
I'm a candidate for that school board, sir.
Well, you're not currently elected, so you don't have permission to pass it out.
And I'm here.
You need to leave now. You're trespassing. We'll call the police if you don't leave.
Property.
Are you going to leave or not? Very good.
Free speech.
Thank you, Hall.
Thank you very
Can I have another one?
You sure may. Hang on 1 second here. There you go.
Hey, who wants some information?
Oh, no, I'll take one.
Awesome.
All day, buddy. Yeah, they're telling us not to take it.
Okay. God, I hate the school. Why doesn't your school
Everybody
want you to
take a
have this?
flyer. Everybody, don't listen to the school.
How's it going? This is some information your school does not want you to receive. It's for you, though. You're free to accept it. Nice jacket. Everything was great. I handed out big stack of flyers. Kids were ready to take them, real receptive to new information, you know, ready to question things that their school's trying to censor.
Not having yet been served, I went to Monadnock Regional High School days later and was detained by 2 law enforcers who wanted to serve me with the no trespass order and order me to leave the public property under threat of force. I was handing out literature pertaining to the upcoming Bearcat meeting and the free agents campaign, thanksbutnotanks.com.
Conflicting my freedom of movement. I don't know what you're talking about. I would like to walk away.
You're not welcome on the property.
What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Leave.
I don't
You need to leave now.
I don't want that piece of
You need
paper
to leave now,
handing me.
okay? Go with him,
I don't
please.
want it, but I'm going to leave now.
You have been served. You are not welcome on the property. If you come back, you're going to get arrested.
All right, I'd like to
You're
go.
more than welcome to stand out there and pass out the stuff, okay?
I would like to leave. Where am I supposed to leave to?
Right here.
All right. Thank you. Would you clear me a path here?
There you go. Take your friends with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the way to go, okay?
Could you stop
This is how you go.
Look, the people with guns are going to push me off the property. Is this the peaceful world you want to live in? Think about it. Think about it, guys. Look at these men with guns.
Stand out here at the exit and pass out your stuff.
Appropriate?
Derrick, you're more than welcome to stand out here.
Look, I don't have anything to say to you.
Okay, well, I do to you.
Guys, these people have guns. I have papers with information. Think about it.
Sir, you're a little uncomfortably close to me right now.
So I know Derrick and Ian and a number of other folks went out to a lot of the area schools multiple times, never really had any problems. I went out to Keene High School myself a couple times, and when we went out to Monadnock, regional high. There was a lot of pushback from the school administrators, who demanded that we first get permission from one of their colleagues. My point was, this is public property. We have the right to hand information to somebody who voluntarily takes it.
The Bearcat issue energized and united the community. In December, Keene City Council quietly voted itself a Homeland Security-funded armored attack truck called a Bearcat. Only one council member voted against it. His son started a petition for the city council to reconsider the Bearcat vote, which was signed by hundreds of townspeople within days of its creation. One of the members of Keene City Council was quoted on the record as saying, "We're never on tank."
Rule by force and not by law.
Members of the Shire Choir and I made news on WMUR for singing to the bureaucrats at City Hall.
It's time to say no more. We won't take or give anymore. That's why we're singing thanks, but no thanks.
Activists like Bo Davis created media showcasing public disapproval for the Homeland Security-funded armored attack truck. Tally TV was live streaming video the day of the Bearcat reconsideration vote. Free Keene TV also reported on the meeting, which for the first time ever was packed beyond capacity and regulated by the fire marshal and police. Activists associated with a variety of projects collaborated to make the Bearcat issue front page news. FreeKeene.com, LadiesInKeene.com, and CopBlock.org wrote blog posts, recorded podcasts, and created videos while free agents ran a campaign to unite it all under the banner of ThanksButNoThanks.com. Bo Davis designed a logo which appeared on buttons and t-shirts sold at local stores and worn around town. Members of the community were disheartened when the Keene City Council voted for the Bearcat to stay, ignoring the wishes of the community. Just 4 days before that Bearcat vote, photojournalist Carlos Miller of Photography Is Not a Crime and activist Ross from Freedom's Phoenix were visiting Keene and decided to challenge the unconstitutional ban on recording inside Cheshire County Superior Court. A demo of CopBlock.org joined Carlos and Ross in filming as Ian and Kelly walked into Cheshire County Superior Court to conduct some business despite their having been served with, albeit unlawful, no trespass orders for singing.
Or at least recently they wouldn't. Then they recently changed the rules again about cameras, but either way, we're still...
So we are allowed to walk in with cameras?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, Damon's in there with a camera right now, so he may be getting into it with them already.
But what is the official law as you speak?
There is no law. It's just men with a robe, doing whatever it is they want to.
But the court order, has that been removed?
No, not at all. I was threatened last week when I was here.
Yeah, and you're not allowed here.
Flyers out in front of this courthouse and was threatened with arrest.
You're not allowed here for trespassing.
I'm already technically, violating their trespass.
And what are you gonna do? You're gonna walk in? Yeah. Sir, how you doing? Are we allowed with cameras in here or no?
Yeah, they can't be turned on.
They can't be turned.
Recording now, sir?
Yes.
Do you turn it off, please?
We can't record.
No, you can't record in the building.
Okay.
Would you turn it off, please?
Yes. Is that a court order though? Is that part of the court order from a few months ago?
Yes. Would you turn it off, please?
Yeah.
Now?
Would you treat WMUR cameras the same way, Fredrickson?
Yes.
I'm a reporter from Miami. I'm just doing a story.
Would you turn it off now, please?
But can I ask you a quick question?
I'll answer your question after you turn it off.
Well, I want to ask you before, because I want to get on the record. That's the whole point.
You can turn it off now, sir, before I call the deputies up here.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
What's up?
Sir,
I don't need permission. I'm here on business. Your sheriff refuses to call and contact me.
Sir, are you recording? Yes, sir.
Law enforcer Caleb Dodson threatened Carlos Miller for filming the arrests going on inside.
Turn it off. Under what order? Under what order are we going to do this?
Sir, if you not turn that off, we'll be arrested.
Sir, we're talking...
If you not turn that off, we'll be arrested.
Sir, can we talk outside here?
If you not turn that off, you'll be arrested.
Sir, I'm going to continue recording because I'm doing a... Look, first of all, I'm doing a journalistic report, okay?
Outside the building.
Okay. But, sir, are you aware of the Glick decision? The Glick decision versus Boston? It allowed us to record in public spaces. Sir, look where I'm at. I'm outside here.
Outside of the building, if you can record. You come in again, you'll be arrested.
But under what order? That's what I'm asking you. Can you please tell me what order?
My goal was to stay at a safe distance so that I could capture the entire event on camera even if everyone else got arrested. To my surprise, 2 sheriffs exited the courthouse to chase me on foot, demanding that I stop for them and allow myself to be kidnapped. I ran from them, believing myself to be free to go.
What are you talking? Stop! What? What are you talking about? Get away from me!
You're trespassing.
You're scaring me.
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
I'm telling you to stop.
You have a gun. I don't like you. You don't look like a peaceful person. I just want to be left alone. I would just like to be left alone.
I was able to outrun them, so I walked back and did an interview with Carlos Miller.
I didn't go inside because I didn't want to violate a no trespass order, which could result in me being arrested and then losing my $2,000 that I posted for bail last time I was arrested. So while I was standing over there on the sidewalk outside of the court, 2 deputies came outside with guns ready to arrest me, saying, "Derrick, come here, stop," and then laughably weren't even able to catch me, just sprayed it away, and then that was too much for him. The donut diet isn't working.
While walking to my car, Sheriff Derrick began chasing after me, and he put me in handcuffs. I was released about 6 hours later after $1,000 bail was posted. I was charged with criminal trespass, resisting arrest, and contempt of court. If convicted of all of the charges at maximum penalties, I would face 2.5 years in jail for this victimless crime alone. Some who have reviewed the video of the event question whether or not the sheriffs confused Ross for me, since we were both dressed in gray jackets, aviator sunglasses, and gray fedoras. In early March, Free Keene TV got a smokin' new correspondent.
Do you get tired of turning on the mainstream news and hearing another story about hopelessness, tyranny, and Orwellian nightmares come true? Free Agents Radio News takes all the positive stories of peaceful resistance around the globe.
My primary role in the past was as the live editor. I'd been the technical director for the last 6 months of the show when I began presenting video reports in early March of 2012. I enjoyed this new direction and would have pursued this endeavor further if I had not been arrested again in late March. Friday, March 30th, 2012, I was biking home and then heading to the grocery store after filing some motions at Superior Court. A Keene police car rode up behind me with its lights and sirens blaring, so I moved my bike aside to allow the car to pass me, but it stopped. I figured it was going into a house or something and I kept biking. Then the car sped past me, and I figured it was responding to a call for help by another officer nearby. I was very confused when the car ran into my bike, knocking me on the grass of a neighbor's front lawn. Law enforcer Fenton P. Moore Jr. then opened his car door, knocking me in the arm twice. I coasted on my bike so as to sustain the hit without toppling over onto the concrete sidewalk, but Fenton Moore took out his baton and stuck it between my spokes, causing me to fall over. Moore climbed on top of me, grabbed the camera out of my hand, threw it onto a neighbor's lawn, and then punched me twice with his left fist. From there, activists began pouring out of the activist center with video cameras.
Try it again. I'm over the foot long with them. I need assistance.
After spending a week in jail, by the time I returned home from the Keene spiritual retreat, I was feeling overwhelmed by the ongoing journey through legal land, and my desire for security was not being met. It became clear to me that no matter how I proceeded, I was going to be in jail for one of these charges by the end of this year.
As amazing as Derrick's victimless crime spree was, it ended up ending with one of the typical ways the state stops civil disobedience, and that's by creating a prisoner's dilemma. And all too often, people who aggress upon the state or do crimes that have victimized the state, which again isn't a person, they end up charge stacking. So Derrick found himself in that predicament exactly. 9 charges, anywhere from 7 to 9 years or something like that of jail time, and therefore the state offers you a plea deal of a a considerable amount less. And, you know, it's the prisoner's dilemma. Do you go and fight all 9 charges and hope that a jury and, you know, the state that's hammering against you falters, or the jury finds you not guilty? Is quite the gamble when they're willing to say, hey, 9 years for these crimes is what you're facing, do a year and be out in 6 months or something like that. So the prisoner's dilemma is something I really caution civil disobedience activists from getting themselves into, because once you're in that boat, you know, self-preservation is first and foremost, and by the time, you know, all these charges catch up with you, you have no choice but to take the plea deal if you don't want to spend a lengthy amount of time or your life in jail.
I began breaking out and organizing all of the charges which I have accumulated in the last 365 days, all of the mail I've received from government agents, and all of the evidence for each case. I had been arrested 5 times. I had been banned from Central Square, Superior Court, Monadnock Regional High School, all Keene schools, and all New Hampshire liquor stores. Once under house arrest, I had finally been banned from everywhere in the world except for my house, the Keene Activism Center. Earlier this week, I signed a plea deal that I will forfeit 5 upcoming trials in order to serve a negotiated sentence. 1 count of disobeying an officer and 1 count of contempt of court were dismissed. I pled nolo contendere to the 1 count of obstruction of government administration, 3 counts of resisting arrest, 2 counts of contempt of court, and 1 count criminal trespass. For these crimes in which an imaginary entity called the state of New Hampshire is the only alleged victim, I was sentenced to 540 days in the Cheshire County House of Corrections, plus $2,174 in fines. All but 90 days and $1,240 suspended. Since I refuse to voluntarily fund an institution which aggresses against peaceful people, I will serve the fine with jail time at the rate of $50 a day. The sentence can be reduced up to 1/3 for good behavior, and I've already served 10 days this year, meaning that most likely I will end up serving about 75 days. After my time in jail, I'll avoid being caged again by self-imposing an exile from the Shire. I'll miss the friends I've made here and the organizations which I've had the pleasure of joining.
I'm going to jail as part of a plea deal that I took. That was difficult because one of the first activisms that I did in Keene was don't take the plea deal outreach. And I think the purpose of that is really to clog up the system by overloading it with you know, peaceful crimes, taking all those to court, and I feel like I've achieved that a little bit anyway. You know, and took them throughout court up to a certain point. So it's not a total loss, and anyway, I did take the deal in order to mitigate the potential harm to myself. You know, each crime, I guess, when all told, they were added up, it was something like 9 years potentially, so I didn't want to go forward and risk 9 years in a jail cell, so I'm thinking, you know, 75 days being the minimum and 105 being the max that's pretty good, all things considered, and I'm gonna miss everyone so terribly, and but it'll be over, you know, this too shall pass, and I just look forward to all of the exciting adventures that await all of us in the future. So, thanks for everyone to everyone who's supported me throughout this journey, and thanks to everyone who's followed along. It's been entertaining and enlightening, and I hope y'all have a pleasant day and enjoy what freedom you do have today.
upcoming trip where I'm going to be self-imposing an exile from the Shire. I'm going to be documenting individuals who are declaring independence, who are, forming communities with other independent individuals, and I'll be blogging and doing a video update daily over at livefreeordance.com. I'll be blogging at freekeen.com, and most importantly, I'll be reviving libertyontour.com. Of course, it's going to break my heart to leave the Shire, but I'll be coming back to visit, and then I'll be back to stay in a year. So I just want to thank you all for all of your love and support. It's great. Bo is right here next to me, but he'll be leaving in just a few short days. Hopefully another Liberty activist, Josh, will be visiting me here in our block as he does the rest of his sentence. And I just want to thank you all for your love and support, and I look forward to meeting you and receiving your letters and communicating with you. So, peace.
Is he out yet?
Not yet, no.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
Derrick, J. You mean Mr. Hart? Oh, true. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I go by his
Else
chosen
is-
name, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but here we have to use the, otherwise we won't know who you're talking about.
We want Derrick! 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 We want Derrick!
Tell us that he's bringing us Derrick.
Good morning, my name is Derrick. He's being released right now, so.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Thank you for letting us bring on the case that you violently put him in for harming no one.
Yeah, I did that.
Personally.
Oh yeah, you just said I did.
He didn't do it, Chris. He's just doing his job.
Yes. What job is that, by the way?
The delay was because we got video.
Here's the one. Yeah. So what the fuck? I say,
a-
thanks for releasing my friend from the big cage that you violently put him in. He says, I didn't do that. You're the warden, you fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
Testing channel 1. Channel 1.
He's like a horse waiting for the gate to open.
To see so many happy, smiling faces. Look at all these peaceful people. Hey! Oh, hey!
What's up, brother?
Hadn't seen you in a while.
So, you just got out of jail. Are you ready to go commit another act of civil disobedience with us in Middleborough, Massachusetts today?
I've heard about the
Free
intrusion on
speech demonstration.
on freedom, and where does it end? If we start with one word, then only others are to follow. So I think it's important to just nip this in the bud, show people that it's not okay to ban speech.
And we're going to stand up to a bully together, aren't we?
We can do that. Let's do it peacefully.
To Middleborough, Massachusetts.
Let's show them how it's done peacefully.
Say a four-letter word in Middleborough and you could soon be fined. Well, some people have some choice words to say about that.
Of people coming together for what they say is a freedom of speech issue in Middleborough.
Their message is all about freedom of speech.
Come heck or high water, dozens gathered for a swear-in.
I'd like to introduce a friend of mine, Derrick J. Freeman, who just got out of jail this morning for his victimless crime spree in Keene, New Hampshire, and is ready to join us in another act of civil disobedience. So, Derrick J.
Though I don't use profanity in everyday language, I think it's important that those of you who want to can, without a fear of being caged or extorted. And, you know, there's a slippery slope argument to be made where if a person grants the government the authority to tell us what we can and can't say, then those people who are like me, who vehemently oppose war, may one day be threatened with being told that we're not allowed to tell other people how we feel about ending war. So I thank you for being out here. It's encouraging to see so many smiling faces.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful fucking day.
Language that is coming from inside this building saying that we are going to use the force of government to control your speech is way more offensive than any particular word.
Adam Kokesh organized this protest against a bylaw that slaps a $20 fine on people caught swearing in public. He calls that an affront to free speech.
They now have the ability or authority to steal from you if they don't like what's coming out of your mouth. Government is a bully.
Derrick, just to catch viewers up on your situation, you were recently released from jail after having served time for your victimless crime spree. Tell us what that experience was about.
Yes, thank you for asking, Allie. Over the last year, I've gone on what I'm calling a victimless crime spree, engaging in civil disobedience and committing crimes which involve no victims. And for that, I've served today 60 days in the Cheshire County House of Corrections.
Wow, that's a lot of days.
Well, that's nothing compared to the 800 that I have floating over my head for having, if I commit another crime in the next 2 years. So, needless to say, I won't be aiming for that goal.
So, Derrick, what's next for you now that you're freer?
Well, thank you for asking. Now that I'm out of jail and able to do a lot more, I will be going on the road as what I'm calling self-imposed exile from the Shire. I'll be traveling with my video camera to meet other liberty activists and see what ways they're gaining independence, not only from the government, but for themselves. People who are raising chickens all the way up to a guy here in New Hampshire who's building his own cell phone tower. There are all different kinds of ways that people are declaring independence for themselves, and I think that's really exciting. So I'll be showcasing that as I travel across the country. We got Garrett driving, and we're gonna pull into a gas station right up here. Get some gas, change drivers. Alright, so just gassing up before we go. I'm not planning to stop for food or anything, I just want to go. If I have to refuel, I'll do that, but I'm just gonna lay low. I'm also traveling a pretty roundabout route. I was just talking about this with Garrett and Steve. I'm thinking I'll go through Albany, New York, rather than go through Massachusetts, and then from there I'll go through Scranton, PA, to get through to South Jersey, next to Philly, rather than go through Jersey, because that can be unsafe. There are a lot of police in New Jersey, and they've got all these cameras everywhere, like every toll booth. Cameras that can read your plates. Can't have that. So, alright, we've just gassed up. Should be full.
I hope that he can stay out of the hands of the aggressors, because I know how it is for me, and I think that I can relate to Derrick on this, and that is that it's hard to do what you're told once you're used to saying no. When you're used to saying no to the government aggressors, and then you've got this, suspended sentence hanging over your head, as he does here in New Hampshire, and you've got, you want to stay safe, you don't want to be put in jail cell, you don't want to be put in a jail cell in Denver or wherever it is he ends up visiting on the tour. It's going to be difficult for him to back down if there's a situation, because he's going to be hanging out with activists, he's going to be videoing their activism, but sometimes just holding a video camera, as you well know, can get you in trouble too.
So there's a good chance that he's going to encounter some kind of an aggressive police officer or bureaucrat of some sort who's going to want to teach him a lesson for recording video, and then he's going to have to make that choice to either stand his ground or back down. And I know he doesn't want to go to jail at this moment at all, and I'm sure he doesn't want to go to jail outside of, Cheshire County. So he's going to probably have to back down, and that's going to probably be the biggest challenge for him.
He's off.
To the drums of the paralyzed and possessed by crusaders to see.
Visit Keene in the Shire and join other liberty lovers who are getting active to achieve a voluntary society. Whatever you do, don't be bored. I truly believe this is the most exciting time we could have possibly hoped to be alive.
Bound by the science that lives on the lips of the